What's going on, everybody? It's Brigmaster. It's been a while since my last video. As you can see with the introductory video, I've got a lot to talk about, so let's get straight into it. Alright, well, let's start down here in the beach. Now, as you can tell, I rebuilt the mega yacht, added a few cooler details there to it, as well as an upper deck, and I put it back in the water where it used to be, as well as added a few little scenes there. Looks like there's a little party going on right there, and right all over these two boats right here, which I think this one was there the last view, but again, I'm not sure. The party continues on this one. Like you can see in the water, I've got some clear cheese slope pieces that are now representing waves, and some round headlight pieces, and one by one round stud tiles, I guess, representing the water sort of washed up on the shoreline, as well as a little bit of a rearrangement right here with the way the beach kind of curves. It kind of goes down into the rock work down here, and that's what I've changed with the water area over down by the beach. Behind the beach, where the shops are, I've added a new store, the old fishing shop, which you sort of saw in the introductory video. This is what it looks like out from the front. You can see you got the bike rental area, as well as the fishing rods outside because they're too tall for the inside. And of course, I can take the roof off here and show you guys what's on the inside. So you guys can see you got a lot of part constraints for this one, so I had to use some printed pieces that were part of a Lego ruler that came out a couple of years ago. But let's check out the inside. Over here we can see some scuba diving equipment here, a little more over here, and a life vest, as well as a few boxes here with knickknacks in it, and the cash register there with the guy that works. Next to the old fishing store is the new seawall / boardwalk area. So this was built and added to where the new table came out from where the old city was. And I added, again, cheese slopes for the waves and the studs for the water, as well as a Danish flag to represent the country that Lego is from. And I took out the palm tree that was here with the boutique hotel, and I made my own palm tree that looks like the one over here and right there. And so that's what I did with the sort of look of the boardwalk. Now you're probably wondering why I didn't just use these tiles here or change tiles to this. Well, it comes back to the old story of part constraints. I don't have the necessary pieces to do them, so it kind of has to stay like that forever. Or obviously until I decide to order pieces that will fix that. But that is the new seawall / boardwalk area. And over here, I forgot to mention the food truck area with the new food truck. So let me show you guys the new food truck. Alright, so the new food truck is built on one of the Lego pre-made sort of chassis, as well as a camper top right here, because it was super high up from the ground. And over here in the kitchen, you can see you got the guy working, and back here is the entrance, as well as the flap that opens and closes to let the customers order. And if we look closer in there, we see a few condiments, a pan, and a cutting board on top of a counter. So that is the food truck, and it goes right over there next to the boutique hotel. Now we finally made it to the two new modular buildings in the city. The first one right there, the corner building, is the 2025 Lego two-door corner building, and I'll show you guys the interior for that right now. The first floor over on this side is the inn, which is sort of a bed and breakfast area. You can see you got the classic breakfast right there. And a few coffee cups and coffee machines right here. And the kitchen, which is right over here. Over on this side here is the Haberdashery, which, if you don't know what that is a tailor, but for hats. And I like the little implementation that Lego did, which lets us remove this wall so that we can see both of these areas better. Over on the first floor exterior is these super cool sort of medieval style area with an outdoor eating area that is being wiped clean by the owner, and the chef coming into work in that sort of medieval looking door. And then if I come all the way on this side is the entranceway to the Haberdashery, which uses some cool building techniques to showcase the architectural style. On the second floor of the two-door corner is the clockmaker's office, which you access by this outdoor staircase that leads from the sidewalk down to the second floor, where you'll see plenty of little clocks, like these table clocks, as well as big grandpa clocks, and then his working area for the clockmaker with a little lamp, some drawers, and a magnifying glass to see the gears better. Under the stairs here is a little closet which has a vacuum in it. And here is the staircase going to the third floor. On the third floor of the two-door corner is a loft apartment, but for some reason it doesn't have a bed. It's sort of like a hangout spot. It has bugs on the wall there, a little cat tree, and a little makeshift litter box, as well as a little sink, couch, and a bookcase, and a little plant. And that is pretty much all that's going on for the third floor of the two-door corner. On the roof of the two-door corner is the chimney sweeper, which is getting ready to sweep the two big chimneys over on the two-door corner. Right next to the two-door corner is the 2018 Lego Modular Building Diner. So let's take a look, starting from the first floor. On the first floor of the diner, we can see it's a nice open concept kitchen with bar stools to sit, soda dispensers over here, and a nice area to sit and eat, with a nice little jukebox, and some seats to sit, as well as you have some plaques on the wall of the recording studio, which is on the third floor, which I'll show very shortly. But before that, let's check out the second floor. On the second floor of the 1950s diner is the fighting gym. So you can see here, there's a boxer with his coach holding up pads for him to work on his precision, as well as another fighter here punching the bag. And you have a bodybuilder here who is using the bench press to get stronger. Obviously you need to have the water machine and the dumbbells over here in the corner. This completes the second floor. Now let's take a look at that recording studio. Alright, well, it's the third floor of the 1950s diner. It's the recording studio. You can see right here is the recording studio, and it has a nice view of outside through that window. Back here you have the producer's area. You can control the sound. Over here you have a little bar with some wine and some glasses, as well as a little album cover on the wall. Over here you have a record on the wall, a little plate to describe it, a chair, and the producer, which is out here waiting, and the guy who's about to go up to record after parking his 1950s convertible, which is the car that comes with this set. That is the third floor of the 1950s diner. Alright, well, that does it for the two new modular buildings. Let's go back here to the club, and I'll show you. This building has changed because it used to be a sort of half base plate corner building, because over here used to be a street that you could go up, and I changed that in order to have a base plate to put right here. Just swap these guys out, and I changed the club to be just a normal half-base plate modular building. So you can see out there the waiting line, as well as the bouncer in front of the club, and over on the second floor is the DJ with all the people, and over on the inside is very empty. So that is the club remodel. Well guys, that does it for today's city update video. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I thank you so much for sticking on all the way to the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.